You did everything right. You worked hard. You saved your money. You lived within your means. You were told this was the path to wealth. And yet, here you are, running on a financial treadmill, working harder just to stay in the same place. You weren't just lied to. You were trapped. In this video, we will tear down the myths you were taught about money. Using the ruthless logic of Machiavelli, you will learn the 3 secrets the wealthy understand about power, control, and money. This is not financial advice. This is a lesson in financial warfare. You feel it every month, at quiet panic as the bills come due. You skip the morning coffee. You cancel subscriptions. You tell yourself you're being responsible. But it feels like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. You are playing a game of defense, constantly trying not to lose. But the wealthy are not playing defense. They are playing a completely different game. A game of conquest. The most dangerous lie you were ever told is that money is a neutral tool, and hard work is the key to acquiring it. This is a story designed to keep you compliant, to keep you working, to keep you producing value for someone else. Money is not neutral. It is the primary language of power. It is a weapon, and the rules of this weapon were written by the people who already have it. Today, we learn their language. We will learn to see money not as a goal, but as an instrument of power. We will master the 3 laws of financial sovereignty. First, wealth is control, not consumption. Second, debt is a weapon of control. And third, safety is a myth and risk is rational. Prepare to unlearn everything you thought you knew about getting rich. To understand the real rules of money, we must turn away from financial gurus and toward the ultimate master of power dynamics, Machiavelli. He would laugh at the idea of saving your way to wealth. He knew that power is never given. It is taken. And in the modern world, money is the cleanest path to power. He taught that the world is not governed by ethics, but by cold, hard interests. The financial world is the purest expression of this truth. Stop trying to be a good worker. It is time to start thinking like a prince. Law 1. Wealth is control, not consumption. The first and most important law is a fundamental shift in your thinking. The poor and the middle class think the purpose of money is to buy things. A bigger house, a faster car, a luxury vacation. The purpose of money is consumption. This is a trap. The rich understand the true purpose of money is to buy control. It is to buy sovereignty over your own life. Every dollar you earn is a soldier. You can send that soldier out to die for a moment of pleasure, a new gadget, an expensive meal, or you can send that soldier out to conquer new territory, to capture other soldiers, and to bring them back to fight for you. This is the difference between spending and investing. Consumption is a one-time transaction. Acquiring assets is building an army that works for you day and night while you sleep. The goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be free. Freedom is having the power to say no, to walk away from a job you hate, to refuse a client you despise, to spend your time on things that matter to you, not on things you are forced to do to survive. This is true wealth. A fancy car is just a cage if you have to work a job you hate for 40 years to pay for it. Sovereignty is the ultimate luxury. Men are so simple and so subject to present needs that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. Niccolo Machiavelli. The culture of consumerism is the great deception. It convinces you to trade your future freedom for present comfort. It preys on your immediate needs, your desire for social status. The wealthy understand this. They let the middle class buy the liabilities that make them look rich, while they quietly acquire the assets that actually make them powerful. They buy businesses, real estate, stocks, and systems. They buy back their time. You must change your definition of wealth. Wealth is not the amount of money you spend. It is the amount of time you can survive without having to work. It is the number of choices you have. Every dollar you spend on a liability is a choice you are giving up in the future. Every dollar you invest in an asset is a choice you are gaining. Here is your first mission. For the next 7 days, do not create a budget. Instead, create a power ledger. Every time you spend money, ask one question. Did this purchase increase my control or decrease it? Was buying that expensive coffee a moment of pleasure that cost you a soldier? Or was buying that business book an investment in a skill that could build you an army? Categorize every expense as either sovereignty or servitude. This simple act will change your relationship with money forever. You now understand the true purpose of money. It is not about buying shiny objects. It is about buying your own freedom. You have shifted your mindset from consumer to owner. But there is a powerful force working to keep you in the consumer trap. It is a system designed to keep you weak, predictable, and obedient. You must now dissect this weapon of mass control. Law 2. Debt is a weapon of control. The second law exposes the most effective tool of modern-day servitude: debt. You have been taught that debt is normal. A mortgage, a car loan, student loans, credit card debt. It is presented as a stepping stone to the middle-class life. This is a carefully crafted illusion. For the masses, debt is not a tool. It is a cage. A person in debt is not free. They cannot afford to take risks. They cannot quit the soul-crushing job. They cannot speak up against a corrupt boss. They are a prisoner of their monthly payments. Their fear of missing a payment is the leash by which they are controlled. A population in debt is a compliant, docile population. This is not an accident. It is a feature of the system. The system does not want you to be a sovereign individual. It wants you to be a predictable economic unit, a reliable worker and a reliable consumer. debt achieves both. It forces you to work because you have to make the payments, and it allows you to consume far beyond your means, fueling the economic machine and digging your own hole deeper. It is a perfect, self-perpetuating trap. A prince ought to have no other aim or thought, nor select anything else for his study, than war and its rules and discipline. For this is the sole art that belongs to him who rules. Niccolo Machiavelli. For the modern prince, the study of finance is the study of war. You must understand the weapons being used against you. Consumer debt is a siege engine designed to break down your defenses. It promises immediate gratification, but its true cost is your future autonomy. The rich understand this. They use debt differently. They use debt as leverage to acquire income-producing assets. They borrow money to buy a building that generates more in rent than the cost of the loan. They use the bank's money to build their army. The poor use debt to buy a television. One uses debt to get richer. The other uses it to become a more profitable slave. You must learn to see every offer of credit, every buy now, pay later scheme, as an attempt to put a chain around your neck. It is an offer to trade a small amount of instant pleasure for a long period of servitude. You must reject it with the same prejudice you would reject an offer of poison. Your freedom is more valuable than any product. Your second mission is to go on a debt fast. For the next 30 days, make it your absolute rule to not take on $1 single of new consumer debt. No credit card purchases you can't pay off immediately. No new payment plans. Nothing. If you can't buy it with the money you have, you can't have it. This will feel restrictive at first, but what you are really feeling is the beginning of freedom. You are learning to live on your own terms, not on the terms of a lender. You are seeing the game for what it is, a battle for control. You are learning to identify the weapons used to keep you trapped. If you are ready to break the chains of debt and begin your fight for sovereignty, write, "I forge my own chains" in the comments. Let's see who is ready to declare their financial independence. You understand the true goal is control. You understand that debt is the enemy of that control. You have started to build your defenses. But defense is not enough to win. To build true wealth, you must go on the offensive. And that requires embracing the one thing you have been taught your entire life to avoid. Law number 3. Safety is a myth. Risk is rational. The third and final law is the most counterintuitive. The idea of playing it safe with your money is a lie. A savings account is not a safe haven. It is a guaranteed loss. The small amount of interest you earn is eaten away by inflation, the silent tax that makes your money worth less every single year. Letting your money sit safely in a bank is like parking your car in a garage that is slowly, imperceptibly on fire. You are losing. You just don't see the smoke yet. The middle class fears risk. They see the stock market as a casino. They see starting a business as a gamble. So they cling to the illusion of safety, slowly bleeding out their financial power to inflation. The wealthy have a completely different relationship with risk. They do not avoid risk. They manage it. They understand that the only way to get ahead is to take calculated, intelligent risks. True wealth is not built by saving. It is built by ownership. And ownership always involves risk. Buying a stock is a risk. Starting a business is a risk. Buying real estate is a risk. There is no reward without it. The key is to understand the difference between foolish gambling and calculated asymmetry. The wealthy look for opportunities where the potential upside is massive and the potential downside is limited and known. They are not afraid to lose small battles in order to win the war. Fortune is a woman, and if you wish to keep her under, it is necessary to beat and ill-use her. And it is seen that she allows herself to be mastered by the adventurous rather than by those who go to work more coldly. Niccolo Machiavelli. Fortune favors the bold. The financial world is no different. The slow, cautious path is a path to mediocrity. It is the path of the peasant. The path of the prince is one of calculated aggression. You must be willing to put your soldiers on the line. You must be willing to learn, to adapt, and sometimes to lose. Every rich person you admire has a history of losses and failures you have never heard of. Those were not mistakes. They were the price of their education. You must kill the part of you that craves safety and certainty. It is a relic of your old programming. Your new programming must be that of a strategist and an opportunist. You must see the world not as a place of danger to be avoided, but as a place of opportunity to be seized. Your final mission is to make a risk investment. This does not have to be a lot of money. The amount is irrelevant. The act is what matters. This week, take a small amount of money you would have spent on a luxury or comfort and put it into a calculated risk. Buy one share of a company you have researched. Invest in an online course for a high-income skill. The goal is to take your first step as a player, not a spectator. To feel the discomfort of risk and to begin to see it as an ally, not an enemy. Let's assemble the truth. The game of money is not about working harder, saving more, or being a good person. It is about control, leverage, and risk. You have been playing by a set of rules designed to make you a predictable worker and a profitable consumer. But those are not the real rules. The brutal, liberating truth is this. You are not struggling with money because you are bad at earning it. You are struggling because you are playing a peasant's game in a prince's world. Your new game begins today. Your path to sovereignty is clear. It is built on a new code of conduct. Seek control, not comfort. With every dollar, buy assets that build your power, not liabilities that display your status. Buy your freedom. Reject financial chains. Treat consumer debt as the weapon it is. Refuse to be enslaved. Your goal is to owe nothing to anyone. Embrace calculated risk. Abandon the illusion of safety. See risk not as a threat, but as the only rational path to meaningful wealth. Be the adventurer. You have been given the map to the real game of money. It is not an easy path. It requires you to unlearn a lifetime of conditioning. It requires you to be disciplined when others are impulsive. It requires you to be brave when others are fearful. But this is the only path that leads to true financial sovereignty, the path of the prince. The question is no longer what you have been taught. The only question is, are you ready to play? If you are done being a piece in someone else's game and are ready to become a player, write "I play to win" in the comments below. Welcome to the real world. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. Your training has just begun.